Good morning. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. It's Wednesday, by the way, in case you didn't know. I'm Dr. Katrina Kreider, a chiropractor here at A Touch of Health, and today I wanted to talk about a concept that I learned in chiropractic school, and really something that has kind of been the driving force for how I create health. So we're going to talk about living from the inside out. And this actually applies to a lot of different things, especially when we're talking about health creation and just life in general. So there's a concept that you are taught in chiropractic school, and it's called innate intelligence. And this concept completely fascinated me, and it's really honestly why I became excited about chiropractic when I was a teenager, because nobody really talks about this with you, but it is the magical and fantastic way that your body works is that there is an innate intelligence inside you, and you are self-healing. And this can be explained a couple ways and actually proven, right? When you cut yourself, do you have to think about sending clotting blood, like clot the blood? When you cut yourself, your body heals it. Your body clots the area, it scabs the area, and it basically just like seals it up. That is the intelligence within your body. Another example of this innate intelligence is when you eat food. Is food like driving you crazy right now? I'm like so annoyed that we have to eat so often. But the thing about when we eat food is that you don't have to think about digesting your food. You don't have to think about sending that food to make new cells, like maybe you need new liver cells or something like that. Like your body does this. So I think for us in our society, we are so often taught to take an outside-in approach, right? Health is something I'm searching for. I must find it over here. I need this little pill to keep me healthy. Not true. Health is actually an inner expression that comes out, right? It's an inside-out approach. There are 3 things that are going to mess with your health. 3 things. And they kind of fall under one umbrella. Stress. Stress is going to mess with your health. Okay? And so these are the 3 T's that affect our health. Thoughts, toxins, and trauma. Okay? So let's talk about the first one, because this is a really big one right now. Thoughts. Have you ever heard the expression, thoughts become things? So this is so true, especially right now. Right now, the world is telling us to fear. We should be afraid. We should be so afraid. But what that fear does is it increases cortisol in our body and decreases our immune response. So really, we should not be afraid. I know, the thoughts. Yes, we should be cautious, but living in fear is not a way to live. It's really going to depress our immune system. So I wanted to give you another example of thoughts, because this one, I took a shower today, and when after you have babies, your body looks different, right? Can we just all agree our bodies do not look the same? So I got out of the shower, and as I'm drying off, I have 2 girls, and so I think the self-talk we have about our bodies is very important. I think that if you have boys, the self-talk you have about your body is just as important, because the things we say to ourselves and we say to our bodies, would you not be really mad at your friend if she was saying that to herself? Okay, so when I got out of the shower, I was thinking, I love you, body. Thank you for taking good care of me. But I also thought of how many times had I told myself, like, ugh, I can't stand how my stomach looks now. Like, it's like wrinkly and I don't have a six-pack. I mean, who has a six-pack, right? And I'm like, oh, these thighs are so big. I don't like these thighs. Like, these are thoughts that I've had about my body. And the response that my body gives me from having these thoughts is not necessarily a good response. So thoughts become things. That right now is like your biggest job with your health is managing these thoughts, because I think that the thoughts are huge. The thoughts are heavy. There's a lot of outside in forces, and that's why I've talked in the past couple weeks about controlling your input, moderating your input. I think as women, we are taught to ignore that inner knowing. That's also an outside in process, right? So when we're making decisions, we're like, well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? Right? And we'd like poll everybody. And then we make a decision instead of getting quiet and thinking, well, what do I think? Right? Like, I know the answers are always within ourselves, but it's definitely challenging to get quiet enough to listen to them, and to trust them, to learn to trust them. It's like a relearning process. So thoughts become things. So when you get out of the shower next time, instead of nitpicking all those parts of your body that you don't like, why don't you love them? Like, love your body. I said this before, you cannot hate yourself into better health. You have to love all pieces of you. So instead of choosing fear, right now, let's try to choose love. So thoughts is the first thing that helps us live inside out. The second thing is toxins. And this is why eating organic is important. Even more important than eating organic, I think, is eating local, right? Knowing your local farmers. That's why I'm a huge fan of Fresh Harvest in Atlanta. Just such a great service to help connect us to local farms. In our current world, toxins are everywhere. They are everywhere. I don't think that it's realistic to eliminate them totally, because they're just in stuff that you don't know, that you don't think about. And, as you know better, you do better. So what I encourage people to do is you have to start lowering your toxic load. Okay, so that really starts from what you put inside your body. So eating organic, eating local, drinking filtered water, because they put all kinds of chemicals. They put fluoride in the water. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in the water. Using body products and skincare that isn't laden with chemicals. That's like another way you can lower your toxic load. Not spraying your yard with those weed killers. Those are so harmful for us. Using like a more natural method with that. Using a solution for bugs that doesn't involve spraying. I use the Green Queen, which is local to Atlanta as well. They use a nice essential oil blend to help with the bugs, because in Atlanta we got roaches. Like, we just have bugs. It's in the South. So there are so many ways that you can work on lowering your toxic load. And as you do this, your body functions better, because your liver is like the oil filter of your car. So what happens is toxins get filtered through the liver, but we have so many that the liver starts to get sluggish, right? And so oftentimes I will recommend cleanses and help take people through that. But the thing that you can do sitting at home is some of the things I said. organic vegetables, right? We can lower our toxic load with our skincare, our body care products. We can lower the toxins around us. Every park you go to, you're not going to know if they use natural chemicals or not, right? But what you have control over your area, and that's what's important. That's what you should focus on controlling. And so the next one, so the first two, I feel like the first one, like thoughts, is kind of like sometimes hard to grasp that concept of how those affect us. Toxins, you can see a little more how they affect us. The last thing that affects us is going to be trauma, okay? This one is a little more easier to see, but I want to talk about a piece of trauma that we don't think about. So trauma, easily could be like slips, falls, accidents. Sometimes these are out of our control. Just like minor little, I slipped off the curb or something like that, okay? And that's where chiropractic comes in. Chiropractic really comes in for all of these because it really is that communication system of the body, and it helps give us that connection. But another piece of trauma is like emotional trauma or physical abuse when you were younger. So here's the thing about how that affects our system is that when we have something like this trauma, remember I talked about how the thoughts, living in fear, triggers that stress response and it triggers that cortisol. So physical abuse when you were younger or emotional trauma that you suffered when you were younger, if we don't look at those pieces of ourselves, right? We're talking about health from the inside out. If we do not face those pieces and try to bring some healing, whether you talk to a therapist, my preferred method of healing is non-dual Kabbalistic healing. I see a good friend of mine, and this method works really well for me. There are so many ways into yourself that you can bring healing to these pieces of yourself. Because what happens is anytime you are in a situation that is similar to this, your body is going to go into that stress response. And it's going to go into that fight or flight. It's not going to be that specific emotional trauma, but it's something that your mind is going to associate with it. It's like you get triggered by it, right? And it triggers you right into stress response. Healing doesn't come from there. Remember, we said that our bodies are self-healing. So we have to work on all aspects to achieve that health from the inside out, right? Because that's how we want to live. And that's where true healing comes from. We're looking outside of ourselves for something that is completely contained within ourselves. It is completely contained within you to heal your body, to heal your mind, to heal your spirit, to heal your soul. So I want you to ask yourself today, how can I live my life in more of an inside-out way? If you have questions, I know that there are probably going to be questions from this talk. Please drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what they are. It's just something I'm so passionate about, and the reason that I became a chiropractor, because I believe in the healing power of your body. I believe in the healing power of my body, and I know that that same thing is true for you. So how are you going to choose today to live more inside out? Thank you for watching, Courtney. If you have enjoyed the information that I shared in this group, please invite your friends. I have some exciting stuff planned. I hope that you all stay healthy and well. And if you have any questions about health or healing, if you're struggling with anything right now, please reach out, because I am always here for you to help guide you on this healing journey. Okay? I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. All right? Thanks for watching.